if you want to make a bunch of money while you're young and you want to take control of your life, there is one decision that you have to make while you're young. Between the ages of 18 to 25, this one decision has to be made, or it's going to be a lot harder. Not to say that you can't be successful after that age range, but it's harder to kind of dig yourself out of a hole if you let yourself go into it. And this is something that all of the people that I know that are the most successful, that have the most money, they followed this principle, or they understood this one thing very early on, and it's what allowed them to become the person necessary to make a fuck ton of money and just start their entrepreneurial journey, start their journey of becoming that best version of their self who is autonomous, who isn't following the rules and obligations and beliefs of other people. Because that's the biggest problem. And that's why people end up hating their lives and staying stuck, is because they end up falling into a life that they didn't want to live. So this one thing, the singular thing that I believe you have to do before you can even start to change, before you can even start to improve your life, is you need to understand that there are literally no rules. Like in life, there are no rules, which is a good thing and a bad thing. And it's going to be up to you to either make your own rules, or you can go and follow the rules of other people and basically live at the cost of their desires. So if you follow other people's rules, you're probably still going to be fine. You're going to have a roof over your head. You're going to have food on the table. But you are a slave to the system, for lack of a better term. If you understand that there are no rules and you want to create your own, and you don't want to follow the rules of other people, then you have to make the decision, the conscious decision and the effort to set rules and guidelines and regulations in place in your own life that give you a structure, because you can't just have total chaos. This is a big part of Jordan Peterson's book. It was like the balance of order and chaos. So I remember when I first dropped out of college, that entire month was completely unproductive. I just had no structure, and I had all day to do all of the work that I needed to do, but I really didn't get much done. And it wasn't until towards the end of that month where I was like, wait, what the fuck am I doing? I just dropped out, so I'd have all of the time to work on my business, but I have all day to just do a couple things that'll take me a few hours, and I'm not even utilizing my time efficiently. And this is a problem. I can't let this happen if I want to end up going and building a successful business. So after that month, I moved to Mexico. I was in Tulum, Mexico for the next month, and this was probably 4 years ago at this point. And my whole routine started to become really dialed. From the second I woke up, I was getting up really early, probably 7:15. First thing I'd do is take my bike to the gym, then get a workout in, come back home, eat a banana with peanut butter, and then I'd hop on calls all day. And then when I wasn't on calls, I was eating or working on some other piece of my business, and my whole day was structured. And I realized that in that stage, I needed that order for me to be productive. I had just gone from, being your average kid who's all of my decisions were decided for me. When I'm in school, or when you're in school, it's you go from one class to the next, you have your set lunch break, you get out of school at the same time, maybe you play a sport, you have practice at a certain time, and then it's you have a blank slate. It's if you ever gone through a breakup and you'd spent a lot of time with the girl while you guys were dating. Once you guys break up, now you have to fill that time with something. And if you don't make the conscious decision to fill that time with something that is going to align with the goals and the direction you want to head in life, that's when you end up, just letting a breakup ruin your life. That's why, this is kind of a tangent, but that's why breakups can be a great thing, is because it frees up all of this time and all of this mental bandwidth that was previously occupied by that relationship. But it goes the same way with any major life decision that ends up freeing up your time. And even if you are working a 9-to-5 or you're in college, you are electing what you do when you are not in class, at your job, or doing homework. Those 5 to 9 hours where maybe you end up eating dinner and watching a movie on the couch, or like scrolling through social media or watching videos, like whatever, you are choosing to do that with your time. So I think the first step to like understanding that you can create the person that you want to be and you can live the life that you want to live is realizing that all of the decisions that you're making right now, or like the place that you are in life right now, is a result of your decisions. You are choosing everything about your life. Even though it might feel like people have decided for you, like it feels like your parents told you to go down this certain path, like you did listen to them. And right now, if you're above the age of 18, you can make the decision to just be like, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to move across the fucking country. Like, think about this. Like, just a thought exercise. Think about the craziest thing that you could do right now. Like, you could literally pick up all your shit, leave all of your friends and all the people you know in your hometown or whatever city you're living in, and move across the country and become a completely different person. You could give yourself the permission to start posting content on social media. You can give yourself the permission to literally do anything right now, and the only thing that's stopping you is like the rules and obligations in your own head. And I'm not suggesting that you do anything rash or crazy, but once you understand this, it's like, oh wait, I actually am free. Oh wait, like I don't have to be here. If you're waking up every day and you find yourself just miserable, you find yourself in the same thought patterns, and like you're like, what am I doing, man? Like, what, life doesn't feel great right now. You can change. Like, even if you're in a comfortable 6-figure job, you still have the ability and the power to change. Yes, that's going to come with different circumstances, and you might have to compromise in other areas of your life, and other people are going to look at you and think that you're crazy, but you are following rules that you're either deciding upon or that other people are deciding for you. What you are aware of, you are in control of. What you are not aware of controls you. And that's how the rules work. That's how these rules in your head work. So when you don't know why you're doing something, when you don't know why you're living in a certain place, or you don't question the potential that you could leave that situation, then you're basically just running on autopilot. And that's not a way to live. That's not a way to live that's going to make you successful and going to make you money. So this is really the first thing that you need to understand if you want to start making money, is that you have the freedom to do anything that you want. You can start the business right now. You can stop hanging out with the people that you don't want to be around. You can pick up and move. You can start posting content on social media. You can literally do anything, but you have to create order. You have to create structure. You have to give yourself a routine and guidelines. And if you just make the decision like, oh, I'm going to drop out of college, or I'm going to move across the country, then you have to fill that new opportunity with rules and guidelines and a system, a structure that will benefit you in the long run. And this is supposed to be fun. Like, this is what it means to design your life. That's what we all want to do. We want to have the freedom to design our own life. And if you can put yourself in a position where you have a bit more of a blank slate, or you even take the time when you're not working or you're not at school or doing homework, you can utilize that time and just give yourself a structure that will start to benefit the new reality that you want to step in. That'll start to steer you in that direction. And first, this just comes down to understanding that it's a decision, that you are in the driver's seat of your own life and you're in control, and that you can change anything that you want to change. And then once you understand that, just take a mental log of the things that you're doing right now. Like, are you waking up every day anxious and sad to go do what you're about to do? And if that's a common occurrence, note that you can change it. And this even goes for small things as well. Like, there could be relationships that don't serve you. When I first moved to Miami, I was friends with a couple people that, we'd gotten really close, and like we had a really tight friend group, but I just felt like that relationship was kind of holding me back, and like the role that I took in that friendship, in that circle, was stunting my growth. And I remember like one day I woke up and I was just kind of stressed out about that, because I'd like come to that realization, and I was like, wait, I can go off on my own and live my own life, and I don't have to be reliant or dependent on this friend group, on this construct that I've put myself in. And that's just one minute example. you might be waking up, and let's say you do have like a really rigid routine, and you know, it might get monotonous after a while. Like you wake up and you do the same thing every day, you hop on calls, maybe you're grinding, and it is good that you have this structure and this routine, but after a while it just gets boring and you start to dread it. You can change that. Like, you can switch up your routine. That's something that I do regularly, is every few months I will just like, I'll switch around when I go to the gym, or what coffee shop I'm going to, or the way that I structure my work day, or just like I'll try a new hobby. I'll try changing a certain habit, or reading more, or meditating. For me, it's always been like, I kind of follow a set of principles for 3 to 6 months, and then I'll change it. And then that serves me because it just gives me new perspective, and it gives me new energy to go and attack the things that I want to, and just be more productive. So if you're watching this right now and you feel like there's areas of your life that you're not necessarily in control of, you are just doing something that you don't like doing consistently, understand that you have the power to change it, and you can make the decision to do so. Again, that'll come with consequences, and you will feel that inner resistance, because any change in habit is, you're going to get some pullback. Your ego is going to want to protect the person that you are right now, so it doesn't want you to change. So understand that once you start creating new rules for yourself, you will feel that inner resistance that's like, I should just revert back to the way that I was operating. And sometimes you will mess up. Sometimes you will slip up and kind of go back to old thought patterns or old habits, old beliefs. But if you can just continue to challenge the way that you are operating, and the beliefs and ideas and the structure that other people have placed onto you, then that is how you become free. That's how you create a system and a set of rules that align with the new reality that you want to build and the new person that you want to become. And the final thing I'll say on this, and this is probably something that you'll hear me say often, is when you don't like something about your life, you have two options. You can change it, or you can accept it. Any situation that doesn't align with the reality you want right now, if it really doesn't align and you feel that pain every day and you want to make a change, you literally have to make the decision to change that behavior. Or you are going to be in hell because you're going to continue living in a disagreement with how you want to live. There's just going to be a lot of internal friction and internal noise that says, Ben, you're not doing this thing that you really want to do, and this is hurting you, and it's just going to be hell. So you can change it, make that decision, and actually change the action. Or you can accept it and say, you know what, I am where I am, I'm doing what I'm doing, and I don't have the willpower right now to change it. I don't want to change it. It's not a big enough desire for me to make that adjustment. And that's okay. But you have to make that decision, because then you can stop judging yourself for whatever it is that you have some discomfort with. It's Newton's first law of motion. An object in motion stays in motion unless exerted upon by an outside force. You have to either be that outside force or accept that you're going to continue along the journey that you are going on if you don't change anything. Anyway, I love you. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, share this with your grandmother, and go to the description and subscribe to my newsletter if you want to get random rants from me. And then I also have a training about copywriting. If you want to learn what I do for a living, you can check that out as well. Love you. Thanks for watching. Peace.